Good morning. This is Tony Lanza with America Approved Energy Services. I also have on the line with me Suzie Kim from our 5 Links office. And welcome to the 5 Links Energy Program for Large Commercial with America Approved Energy Services. We've revised this PowerPoint for training purposes and for continuance of questions that have come to the table over the last 2 conventions and over the last couple of weeks with the new representatives in the field. So we wanted to make sure that we revised this, got it to you out in the field as soon as possible where you can hear it, understand it, and actually view it at the same time. So let's get started, and look forward to any feedback that you will have maybe later on after the particular conference. I am available, and Joe Galuzzo, our team lead, is available, which will have our numbers available to you by text alerts. Okay, so here we go. Energy deregulation. The objection of energy deregulation is to offer customers a greater choice, both amongst suppliers and services. Ideally, that will result in increased market efficiency and dollar savings to the consumer. The best part of what energy deregulation is doing for large commercial customers is they actually have a choice to choose a third-party supplier on the supply portion of their electric bill. Nothing changes, just simply a new supplier, new rates, and new savings across the board. We are a national energy consulting firm. AAC is licensed, insured, and bonded in 17 states with over 42 utility companies. We have channel partnerships with every major retail energy provider throughout the country. Today, I believe we have 38. So we absolutely have come a long way in the consulting industry when it comes to energy, and we have suppliers knocking on our door every single day. And we can attest to this by just looking at these next bullet points. AAC has contracted over 1.9 billion kilowatt hours to date, and this is only actually over the last 3 years since we've actually been able to track it through our new management system. Potential customers are subjected to projected annual increases ranging from anywhere from 4 to 16%. Now that depends on the state and the utility market they reside in. All-inclusive rates provided through AAC suppliers are not subject to annual increases for the term of the agreement, which is huge for the customer. No increases through the length of the term. We take pride in providing our customers what we call price protection, stability, and true budget certainty that they actually deserve. It's not always about the savings, it's about the protection that we can put in place with the customer when they're subjected to the volatility of the energy industry. The energy opportunity. Energy is the last major industry to deregulate. Okay? This creates opportunities for those who act. It's a hot topic in today's business environment. Saving money is on everyone's mind. Improve that bottom line. Energy is an essential service. Deregulation is open in 17 states today and pending in many other markets, and it's recession-proof. The multitude of options combined with dramatic price fluctuations makes the deregulated market infinitely more complex, a complex market. Just because a supplier is in your market doesn't mean they are competitive. So we have a simple and objective process based on proven strategies that eliminates uncertainty and volatility risks of the client's business, of your customer's business. Okay? Just because, say for instance, Direct Energy, Hess, or Hudson is in one marketplace doesn't necessarily mean they're the strongest in that particular market. So let America Approved shop this particular deal around to the top suppliers in that marketplace to get the customer what they deserve best, which is security, savings, and price protection. Where we operate. Every business has cost-saving initiatives and can benefit by controlling their energy costs. AAC is helping commercial companies in all deregulated markets save money every single day. So as you can see here, there's an actual chart here that's color coordinated. All right? When you take a good look at this, get a good feel for what's available to you where you reside in the large commercial side of this alone, because remember, this is only large commercial. So commercial deregulated gas and electric states where we serve and where you would actually serve your customer, just utilize the highlighted boxes to understand where that is. Thresholds for large commercial. This has been a big question over the last couple of months in regards to the thresholds and what is considered large commercial. So as you can see here, New York, 500 a month and above. New Jersey, the same. Maryland, the same. Illinois, 2,000 a month. Ohio, 2,000 a month. And Connecticut, 2,000 a month. Indiana, 500 monthly billing. Michigan, the same thing. Massachusetts, the same. PA, 500, the same. Georgia, 350. Texas, 350. DC, 350. California, 350. Florida, 350. Delaware, and Virginia, 350. Very, very important that you understand that so that you know if that threshold is above that particular number, that monetary value, you know it's considered large commercial and you know how to follow this process to get it where it needs to go. Who we serve? We serve businesses in all industries, both large and small, from the mom and pops up to the Fortune 500 companies. Very simple. Below is a sample of our AAC Energy clients, and look at some of the names on here. World's Gym, Gold's Gym. We actually were, Magic Johnson's Theater was actually a customer of ours at one particular time. Four Seasons Hotels. Connective Thermal was a 100 million kilowatt hour annual customer who grew to the point where they're actually hedging their own energy at this particular time. Okay? Blockbuster Video, American Airlines, McDonald's, a lot of names here that are recognizable. Okay, so there's no one too small, no one too large for America Approved and filings to take control of that particular customer. What we do for the consumer, this is very important. We help the customer save over each term, providing, again, you're going to hear this throughout the presentation, price protection. We analyze the customer's usage profile to secure the best rate. We pre-screen all the major suppliers in that marketplace to protect customers from costly mistakes. We help the customers avoid rate shock surprises. And remember, just because that particular supplier or suppliers is in your market doesn't mean they're competitive, like we talked about in the prior slide. Let us get to what supplier serves this customer the best. Again, we represent every major retail energy provider in your marketplace, allowing us to work for you, meaning the customer, and you, the rep, so that we can get that customer to the next level while making the providers work for your business. 3 simple steps of saving. Okay? No cost, no obligation analysis. We gather the information. Okay? Provide us with 3 most recent consecutive bill copies or 3 utility bills per location. We analyze your usage energy profile. We present you and your customer with options and offer our recommendations. Remember, we're going to present it to you first so that you can then present it to your customer. To start saving money, the customer makes the intelligent decision. The customer selects the term. The customer signs the agreement. It couldn't be that simple. It's not as complicated as it seems, and it's very simplistic when you follow the instructions of the process. Worry-free switching. This is an important slide here because a lot of people don't understand, not necessarily our reps, but a lot of our customers don't understand that everything simply stays the same. There's no switching fees. There's no interruption of service. It's the same poles, wires, and power quality from your local utility. And in some cases, the client will notice a new supplier on the same utility bill and the new contract rate in approximately 45 days. The customer simply pays the bill as normal. And what we do is we suggest our energy representatives to follow up with the customers within 60 days of the beginning of the new service to make sure the bill is correct and to ensure they have started their savings. And what that will do for you, once you do that, it will open up a door to possibly ask for referrals, which is going to be a real good thing for you. Excuse me, just taking a sip of water here. Our team leader program. Okay, this is something very, very important for you to understand. Electricity is purchased by everyone. We understand that, and you absolutely are amazed by the simplicity of this America-approved team leader program. It's really, really simple. When you enroll in the large commercial platform through 5 links, when you submit your first deal, you will be actually given a AAC team leader. Okay? Once that team leader is assigned to you, your team leader will mentor and show you the ropes of the energy business. Your AAC team leader provides you with third-party validation to help you close your potential customers. We will absolutely help you with any sales part or consulting part of the situation with the customer, so you will absolutely earn as you learn as well. Okay? Earn as you learn. So let's get started and move forward in a good direction with America Approved and the Team Leader Program and the energy process, large commercial energy process. Okay, Susie.
Yep. So I'm
Yay, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. This is going to actually start to take place on your side of the fence there, the commercial sales process, and how to actually complete a deal, a large commercial deal with America Approved. So take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Tony. Okay. So as most of you already know, you need to be energy certified before selling any residential or large commercial products. So make sure to go to your VO and obtain the certification access if you haven't done already, and take the energy certification course. And we made this simpler for you, where there's 6 simple modules you must complete before the product is actually showing up in your virtual office. So you can take it as when at your leisure and at your best convenience, and you can do it without having to go through all the 90 minutes of training or the certification training in one sitting. So you can go through sections, so we made that a lot easier for you. And then once you've done that and completed that, you can verify your access in your virtual office. Okay? And the first step and foremost, you need to download that LOA. This LOA is where the customer, agrees to you submitting a deal through AAC. And what this does is it just gives us the authorization to look at your customer's bill copies. And remember to include all service locations, account numbers, and if it doesn't fit on one page, please use attachment A. And if we do need the contract end date if your customer is with another contract with another supplier. So that is very important if you put when you put it on the LOA. And please have the customer sign the LOA. And just briefly, here are the components of the LOA. And first, you want to check off which state and the account utility account numbers that that you must enter down there, and the contract end date where the box is on the second box, and your information, the representative information, and the customer signature. So those are all the components that need to be filled out before we can successfully submit it over to America Approved. Okay, and submitting documents. So there's essentially 3 ways of how to submit your bill copies and your LOA to 5links. So you can either attach it on the online enrollment form, which we'll be talking about soon, or you can fax it to 585-348-2119. So you can fax it over to us, and we can sort it out, and we will attach it to your online enrollment, and we'll send it over and make sure only complete leads will be submitted. Or you can email it to commercialenergy@5links.com, and we'll do the same thing. We'll match it up with your online enrollment, and we'll send it over to AAC with a complete enrollment. And next is the online enrollment process. As I mentioned before, all the LOAs and bills. If you don't want to attach it here, you don't have to. Like I said, there's you can fax it or email it, and you have to fill out all the information in red and make sure all the information is correct and accurate, so that we don't have to go back and contact the representative or customer to obtain that information. Okay. And okay, how to submit a successful lead. So we've been getting a lot of questions and issues where a representative thought they submitted everything but they didn't. So let's just go through each bullet and make sure you've done all this before you contact Tony or Joe at AAC or 5links. So first, please make sure you submitted all documents to 5links. This means that all your 3 bill copies, your signed LOA, and the online enrollment form is complete. And if 5links will not submit any leads to America Approved until all those components are completed. So if you're missing a 3rd bill copy, then we're going to keep it in the pending status in our system until that third document is provided to us so we can send it to AAC. So please do not submit any paperwork directly to AAC because that causes a lot of confusion, not only in corporate but with Tony and Joe when they're trying to process and they don't have it, and it would just cause a delay in trying to process your customer's account. And please make sure you check your reports in your back office. This is under, in your virtual office, under your reports and commercial leads. You can find your status there. So if you don't see an updated status where it's submitted to a broker or we don't have anything, then you can call Rep Services and you can find the status, but it should all be in there if you did submit it the correct way. Okay, and we're going to go briefly through the compensation plan, the points, so everyone knows, large commercial deals are 2 points per active customer. So gas is 2 points, electric is 2 points, so a possible total of 4 possible points. And the commercial residual, the CV is the 50% of that CV goes to you, the enrolling rep, and the other 50 goes to the upline. So remember that all CV is paid out once the customer pays their bill, receives their first bill with the new supplier. Okay, so with the new comp plan in place, so the CV varies based on customer usage and pricing requirements. So right now the floor of the CV is $10.50 for every 100 kilowatts of customer usage. So what you want to do is look at your annual customers' usage, and you can calculate the CV, and we will talk more about how to calculate your CV in the next slide. And also with larger deals that require special pricing may not meet the minimum CV. So once that is established, a representative will be notified before the rep receives the CV. So if in any case the customer requires special pricing, then AAC will notify the representative saying that it did not meet the floor or the minimum. Okay, so how to calculate your CV? Okay, first you want to identify the customer's monthly usage. So from the customer's bill. So you can kind of get an idea on how much monthly usage the customer is using, and take that monthly usage and divide it by 100. So you'll get the monthly usage. And I put an example up there, and the customer's monthly usage is 1 million kilowatts. Take the 1 million kilowatts and divide it by 100, and you'll get 10,000. And take that number 10,000 and multiply it by 0.105, and then you'll get the minimum CV, which is $10,050. So that's kind of how we calculate the CV, and that's just an estimate because you don't know exactly the annual usage because you're just multiplying the monthly usage by 12 months. So that's just going to give you an estimated calculation of your CV. So just keep that in mind, and in the next slide here, we'll see a chart where it kind of gives you the monthly kilowatt and the minimum CV for each, for the 100 kilowatts per 1050. So here's the chart, and this is also available in your back office as well. So if you need this chart to calculate it, it's available in the back office in your documents portion in your energy section. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to Tony, and we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you, Suzie. I appreciate it. That was actually exciting news in regards to how the process works. And, I'd like to just add to a couple things there, Suzie, if you wouldn't mind. Like you said, Suzie, we have been losing some momentum on some deals because what has happened is we don't have enough information from the client, or maybe, say, for instance, the online enrollment form has not been filled out, but the actual, say, the bills and LOA have been faxed in. We just have to remember it's a simplistic process if we follow it, okay? And also, if the customer is with a third-party supplier, we receive, I would say, probably 6 or 7 out of 10 deals. We do not have a contract end date because a lot of these customers have been around for a while and they've taken advantage of deregulation before. So if they're with a third-party supplier, please make sure that you always ask what that contract end date is. It's very, very important. We do not want to take momentum away from you guys at all in the field. And if we slow down the process, guess what? We may not get back to that customer in time, or the customer, may feel like, well, why are you asking me this now when you could have asked me on the original meeting? So it's very, very important to understand these things and why they're important to us and to you to keep momentum in the deal. Okay? So let's get back to if a deal is processed, ready to go, and how we actually create a follow-up appointment with the customer, so how we can present pricing to the customer. You went through all the steps. You got everything you needed. You got the 3 bills in. You also sent in the LOA for the usage profile. An LOA is not a contract. It's just simply asking for permission to pull their usage. The bills tell us what the price is and who they're with, if they're with a third-party supplier. And what happens is within 3 to 5 business days, for deals that are under 500 annual kilowatt hours, and 7 to 10 days on accounts over, we can present pricing. Okay, so what that means is once the deal is submitted to America Approved and processed, your America Approved team leader will be providing you with a cost analysis either within 3 to 5 business days, depending on size, or 7 to 10, depending on size. Okay, one's considered small and one's considered large. So anything over 500,000 is considered large. Your team leader will not provide your customer with the no cost, no obligation analysis. A lot of you are still confused about that in the field. Your team leader will provide you with the customer's no cost analysis within the time frame allotted here. Okay? After presenting the analysis to your customer, then a close meeting, or what we would call an executable meeting for the actual agreement, should be established within 1 business day. There's volatility in our market. Prices change every single day. And if you take a look at our no cost, no obligation analysis on this next slide here, okay, it actually says on the top portion of this analysis, price is indicative. Price changes every single minute of the day. We're lucky to have the suppliers give us a window of 8 hours to close that deal, or 3 hours to close that deal, or 4, whatever the case may be. Okay, each individual supplier is different. Some you'll be able to actually do and complete and execute until 6:45 at night. Some will be at 4 o'clock. Some will be at 5 o'clock. It just depends on the supplier. So make sure you understand that it's important to try to get that close date established. So that's why we're saying on this slide number 3 here, I went back a slide, after presenting the analysis to your customer, and remember, you can get either Joe Galuzzo or myself or any team leader that you have been assigned on the phone with your customer to answer questions. Let's get the established close agreement date set. That close meeting set the next day, preferably. Okay, again, price is indicative of change, sense of urgency, okay? This cost analysis speaks volumes with the customer, all right? We show what they're paying. We show what their projections are going to be over time if they decide not to take advantage of the deregulation, and what the estimated savings are. Remember, everything is estimated. We don't guarantee anything other than the rate being in place for the length of the term, okay? Presenting the agreement, which is the close meeting and or date. Upon credit approval, okay, AAC's pricing desk will provide the 5-link sales rep with of course, with the team leader, a crunch, which is our cost analysis, and agreement the morning of the close date before noon. Okay. Once you are required, to contact your team leader once your email has been received by the team leader. The body of the email, this has happened to me multiple times, the body of the email will include specific instructions that a lot of you forget to bring with you. Okay? Those instructions are executable instructions for that particular supplier. Very, very important that you bring those with you at all times. There's a deadline on there for submitting the deal and how you need to submit the deal back to America Approved. Please do not send that executable agreement directly to the supplier, or it could cause a delay in the processing of the actual executable agreement. It has to come back to America Approved, okay? It's important to understand AAC utilizes different suppliers throughout all the deregulated states to offer the most competitive rates, and each supplier, like I just said, has specific instructions and deadlines that are required to close a deal. Always note the instructions in the body of each email that accompanies each agreement for close. Every one is different, okay? If you need, say for instance, if you're having some time constraint problems where you can't get the customer, say for instance until 5 o'clock and we need to have it by 4, get hold of your team leader. Let us decide if we can actually go to the supplier and say, okay, hey, listen, we need an hour on that deadline. But make sure you contact us about it, okay? We will work wonders for you knowing that a deal is going to be closed, but we also want to make sure that we get it back in the allotted time, or if we need a little more time, the team leader can get that time for you. During the presentation, the 5 Links Energy representative must have on hand, this is very important, copy of the AAC Pricing Desk email that contains the instructions, like I just spoke of prior, the crunch, the agreement along with the energy bills, just in case they're needed and you need to explain what the customer is actually paying because they might not even be able to read that bill themselves. Always have your AAC team leader's phone number and email address handy at all times. Very, very, very important. Your team leader is there to help you through the process of the execution and get those pertinent questions answered, okay? When the deal is closed, fax the signed agreement from the customer's location. Do not wait to get home. You never know what can happen on the road, and you might not meet that deadline. So you could fax the agreement from the customer's location to 800-948-7517. Call your AAC team leader immediately upon faxing the agreement to verify it was received, it's legible, and most important, all pages have been received and it's correct. All rates, agreements, and terms are time-sensitive and subject to provider's approval. So let's try to get those in as soon as we possibly can. If any problems arise, you'll be notified immediately by your AAC team leader. Advise the customer they will receive a welcome packet from the provider, the retail energy provider, upon successful enrollment of their accounts. This will take approximately 30 to 40 days depending on the customer's meter read date. So there it is. Congratulations, you've actually closed and executed your first deal. Your points will go into place within weeks of actually closing that deal, and your residuals start the month after the actual start date. So let me give you a for instance on that because a lot of you have asked me about that. If we close and execute a deal today, today is the 16th of October, okay, and the start date is November of 2013. Upon that meter read date, that's when it starts. So you actually won't see any usage or residuals for another 30 to 60 days after the start date because the customer has to be billed first and pay that bill. So you could be looking at anywhere from 60 to 90 days before you actually see a residual, but that's okay because your points will go into place right away. Okay, Susie, we're on our last slide here. This presentation has gone really well here. I'm really excited about it. I'm glad with all the revisions that we've made here, and I think it's very self-explanatory. So if you need anything from myself or Joe Galluzzo, our team leader, to receive contact information for Tony or Joe, please have the reps type in, just text alerts here, 55469. In the message box for myself would be T. Lanza. It's not case sensitive. That will be sent to you direct. All my contact information, the same for Joe Galluzzo. And text 55469, type in Joe G, not case sensitive. And if you want both of our information, simply type 55469 in the message area, and then AAC, not case sensitive, until both Joe and myself, our information will be sent to you via text. So, Susie, if you have anything to add to this, you can come on back in and add a little extra if necessary. But at this particular time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make sure that every one of our SVPs, Platinum SVPs, every one of our leaders has this particular PowerPoint in their hands for training purposes and for just to streamline our process and to get more momentum created in the large energy program, energy commercial program, just like we're doing now. We're receiving anywhere from 30 to 50 deals per month. I'd like to see that ramped up to 100 deals per month, and I really feel that can happen with the revised version of this PowerPoint.
Thank you, Tony, for joining us tonight on tonight's webinar. Also, if there are any questions that you have Joe and Tony's contact information, and if you have any questions outside of America Approved, then you can contact either our rep services or email commercialenergy@5links.com, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions or issues that you've been experiencing and any feedback that you have. So we're open for any of that and your suggestions. So you can do that, and I hope everyone has a good night, and hopefully this training has helped you and made it a little more clear on what to do and what to expect. So, okay, Tony, thanks for joining tonight, and hope everyone has a good night.
You too. Thank you, Susie.
Okay.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Please stand by.